So, as you know, the last couple of days, the world has been on edge as the conflict with Israel and Iran has been escalating. Basically, Israel's pushing for war. Donald Trump is threatening to involve the US militarily, and things are spiraling out of control. Just the last 24 hours, Trump's like, okay, I'm going to take a 2 week pause and basically pull out of any sort of dealings with this. And now Europe is stepping in, which is actually quite interesting because there were some rumors that perhaps maybe Putin would be a mediator, maybe China would be, but now we're seeing Europe. These were the headlines coming out of Bloomberg. Trump hints he'll hold off Iran strike, give diplomacy time. So basically, Trump, the quote, deal maker, the one that is always pushed by the right-wing media, he's not making any deals at all. It's actually Europe. And it's really interesting when you read through this stuff because they're really talking about Macron here, but there are other countries involved. It says Israel, Iran, latest Europeans to comprehensive offer to Tehran. And basically, I'll read a bit of it with you guys. President Emmanuel Macron said European countries have prepared a comprehensive negotiation offer to put Iran this afternoon to aim of ending hostilities with Israel. So this is also involving UK, France, Germany, right? And the basic gist of it is, hey, Iran, stop it with your uranium enrichment, stop funding terrorist organizations, and basically stop doing anything that is basically causing more instability in the region. We'll see if Iran goes along with this, but that's what's up. And basically, there were talks, all along. However, Israel is basically, hey, I'm just going to attack and kill everyone while I have a chance. And it looks that USA was complicit in those attacks. So, in my opinion, just looking at the events and seeing what's going on right now, if there's going to be some sort of peace, I mean, Europe might be our chance to get this. We'll see. And theoretically, China could step in as well, but it's not going to be Trump. Now, I understand that Fox News and stuff like that will try to paint this as a victory for Trump, right? They'll say, "Oh, see, look how strong Trump is." But I mean, from what I'm reading right now, it looks like Europe is taking the lead here, and they'll see if they can cut some sort of deal with Iran and Israel. And then you have this headline, which just came out of the Wall Street Journal, and I want to put this all in context. Israel can't fight this alone. Like, basically, Israel's plan was, I'm going to attack, kill who I can kill, damage what I can damage, and expect the USA to foot the bill and to clean up. Now, if you pose this question to Americans, hey guys, would you like to put American boots on the ground in Israel? Hey guys, would you like to pay for Israel's war? What do you think Americans are going to say? I mean, this is an honest question. And I think if you pose a question that way, I'm pretty sure most Americans are like, no, I'm not paying for that. No, I don't want to put American soldiers on the ground. And so these kind of things are like Trump's basically pulling out because I think there's a lot of internal strife to where people are calling him out on it. Like, guys, just don't get us involved. Please don't. And again, Europe is stepping in. And then you have this headline, which I think is a key, how expensive the war is. Israel war on Iran is costing hundreds of millions of dollars a day. Now, how much does this cost Israel? There's a couple estimates. So one estimate, maybe $200 million a day. Another estimate could be as high as 400 million. You guys take your pick on that one. They're not going to tell you exactly how much, but I'll just tell you guys, war ain't cheap. I mean, yes, we talk about loss of life, and I talk about that stuff seriously. So I don't ever want to discount that kind of stuff. But I also want to talk about the numbers of these things. Like, it just doesn't make sense economically to keep this thing going. And so this will be sort of what ends this thing, right? Again, Europe stepping in, Israel can't afford to pay for it, and Trump's got sort of people in the background basically pulling him out. Now, what we do know, Trump did have a meeting with the military, essentially military commanders. And the problem with that sort of meetings, though, is that when you talk to the military, they're going to give you military solutions. So this is what you want, essentially, not military solutions, but what you want in a good leadership or a good president is people will surround himself with lots of different types of opinions of experts of different types of fields. But, Trump surrounds himself with basically a bunch of Fox News TV personalities. So it doesn't lend itself for very good advice. And when you ask the military, they'll just tell you to bomb everything, right? That's basically what it ends up being. There's no plan to rebuild. There's no plan to keep the peace, etc. Just plans to blow stuff up. So if you want a military solution, ask the military, right? That's what you'll get. And so that's sort of why Europe is stepping in, because they can offer alternate solutions. Now, I want to sort of talk to you guys about the media landscape that we're currently in and how we got to this spot and why Trump is so incompetent and sort of why Americans go along with it, because it has to do with sort of what media outlets you watch. And I've been noticing the last couple of days, a lot of you have been asking, questions about this stuff, like how did we get to this point? And if you don't know, about half of our audience, actually more than half our audience, comes from outside the USA, and you tune in because you want to hear a more global perspective on, hey, what's going on in the USA and world events, etc. So let me try to explain to you in terms of like why anyone would support Trump. Put simply, if they watch Fox News or other sort of right-leaning outlets, and basically they don't realize they're being duped. So let me just illustrate how this stuff works. So this is Fox News. I was just checking it today. This was on their front page on their website. And if you look in the left-hand corner, it says opinion. Much of Fox News isn't actually news at all. You could just call it Fox Opinion Channel. That's essentially what it ends up being. And what's the opinion? Iran, Middle East moves by Trump have a hidden and brilliant strategy. So whatever Trump does, right, be it good, bad, or whatever, Fox News will always try to make it out like that he's some brilliant expert and you're just too stupid to understand it and let me explain it to you. That's basically what all it ends up being. But if you just look at anything from all, just the objective perspective, you understand that you're being played. So for example, in this particular opinion piece, it was written by someone named Tanvi Ratna, right? This is who wrote it. And effectively, she is a crypto and AI bumper. For reals, that's her right there. Another example of what they do on Fox News. They're saying, oh, they ignore the CBO, Congressional Budget Office. They don't know what they're talking about. Ignore Bernie Sanders. He's so dumb, right? That kind of stuff. And they'll bring on some guy, and this is their headline that they run on Fox News. Democrat narrative on key aspect of Trump's budget bill shattered by expert. So who is this expert they're bringing in? So remember, the first person was a crypto and AI pumper. I showed you who it is. This particular person, his name is James Agresti. He actually went to my school. So these people aren't dumb that they bring in, but they're not necessarily experts per se. His expertise is actually mechanical engineering, and he's, I guess, designer of aircraft engines. And then he wrote a book talking about the Bible. That's the kind of experts they bring on to explain how the economic package and stuff like that is no good, and how Bernie Sanders is a complete fool. And if you guys understand what I'm saying, is that basically if you watch Fox News, you watch the supposed quote experts, and it's just people who want to do whatever grift and be on TV, and they don't have any idea of what they're talking about, but their audience is easily tricked. That's essentially what it ends up being. And let me give you another example of this, because I think this illustrates it perfectly. I am making this video today because I felt really frustrated about the world saying, okay, I mean, I'm happy in the sense of like, yes, at least the adults are finally stepping into room in this situation, leaders from Europe. But unfortunately, people in the USA are still duped, basically. So for example, this is Elon Musk. He's speaking at Y Combinator, which is basically a place where young people can go and try to basically raise funds for their startups. And to be fair, Elon Musk is really good at raising money and telling a bunch of nonsense. And so listen to this nonsense. And the question I pose to you when you listen to Elon Musk is, what kind of people actually think Elon Musk is brilliant? Just listen to this.
AI will so profoundly change the future. It's difficult to fathom how much. But the economy, assuming things don't go awry, and like AI doesn't kill us and will land itself, then you'll see ultimately an economy that is not 10 times more than the current economy. Ultimately, like, it becomes, say, or whatever our future machine descendants, or mostly machine descendants, become like a cottage of scale to civilization or beyond. We're talking about an economy that is thousands of times, maybe millions of times bigger than the economy today.
Basically, he's talking gibberish. Now, here's the thing. There's two ways to read this. You don't understand Elon Musk because he's talking gibberish, or you don't understand Elon Musk, but you don't understand anything at all about the world. And you think, well, I don't understand him, but he's really, really rich, so therefore it must be smart and I'll follow Elon, right? The other way to look at it is like, what the heck is this guy talking about? This guy's a total moron. And there's two different ways that you go with this. And so I just posed a question to you just from an objective point of view. Look at his words when he's talking about, oh, the economy is going to be 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 times bigger. Does this sound like a sane person to you? Like, why would anyone listen to this stuff? And that's sort of like kind of the world that we're in. It's insane. He has this army of followers that, look at these things and they basically just go, well, Elon's rich. It must be awesome. And this is sort of, I know it's like a really stupid logic, but people actually do have that logic. And I just want to just objectively look at this stuff. So this is the kind of stuff that Elon Musk has been tweeting out today, retweeting, I should say. They're trying to promote his stupid robot taxi thing. So we start with Yellow Cab, then you got Waymo, and then you have the Tesla. That's the black cars, theoretically robot driving. It doesn't work. And then eventually we're going to go to gold robo taxis. And I just want you to think it's just like objectively speaking, this last gold robotaxi thing, which I guess is the most awesome tech in the whole world according to Elon, is that what you think is awesome? Like a car that has no steering wheel, no pedals, and is going to be champagne gold, kind of the way that Trump sells you crap. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. And on top of that, Elon promotes a lot of this kind of stuff on his platform. I'll play a little bit of it for you, and I want you to see if you can get the errors in the logic.
I do think that several members of Congress in some of my discussions have brought up media literacy because that is a part of what happened here. And we're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation.
I find it interesting to see Democrats say things like this because they regularly push misinformation. And the reality is they like to control the narrative. I mean, let's remember they quite literally banned a sitting president off of Twitter at the time. And there's a very real chance that if Elon Musk didn't buy X, Trump could have possibly lost the election. Elon buying X actually allows the free flow of information.
Okay, so that's the kind of stuff they talk about nonstop, right? They're like, look at this AOC person. I just can't believe the stuff that she's saying, and we should all worship Elon Musk. And you have to like really just, I want you to just think objectively and critically about the kind of stuff they're saying. Who are these people saying said things? What are the messages being put out there? And decide for yourself. And I'll give you an honest opinion on this stuff. So what AOC is saying, right? Which I think is a reasonable opinion. She's saying, hey, we have to control social media to where like we can't have people just like randomly spewing out misinformation, disinformation, because frankly, guys, it's dangerous. Okay. And one of the reasons why, I mean, there's several reasons why you could have booted off Donald Trump, but they booted him off because frankly, he's dangerous. Like if you understand the January 6th stuff, guys, or the stuff that Trump would do would attack like ordinary citizens, it can be really quite dangerous. Like just for example, let's say every single day I gave you the addresses of like said people and said, okay, those people are bad and here's their address, right? Think how dangerous that kind of stuff is. There's certain stuff that you just shouldn't say. And Trump would spread, misinformation about the election nonstop, and you get January 6th kind of stuff. And so whenever anyone ever tells you that, it's just words and stuff that, Trump says out there is meaningless, or stuff that, Musk says out there is meaningless, it's simply not true. Meaning that when you got a big enough following, you have to be careful of the stuff that you say and don't just, spread misinformation and disinformation. Now, regarding the particular person that Elon Musk is promoting, you have to understand, again, it's very similar to Fox News. Who are these people? So that's Jeffrey Mead. Musk has been promoting him lately. He's a football player. I'm not making it up. And oftentimes people in the Republican Party / right-leaning people, when they pick black influencers or politicians, actually, they often pick former football players. I'm not making it up because that's, I guess, and there's not that, honestly, there's just not that many black people that go to the Republicans, because the Republicans tend to promote policies and stuff like that are not for black people. I'm just being frank with you guys. But every now and then you find someone who's a former football player who's like, you know what? I like to be famous. I want to do that. And if that's what you want to do, that's your game. But you can easily find this guy. Jeffrey Mead is a former University of Oklahoma wide receiver who is now a social media influencer, and he got the attention of Elon Musk. So congrats to you. And this is what Trump's people are, right? Trump also, picked Secretary Noem, who basically wants to be Ice Barbie. She's back again. We talked about this before in the last video. She disappeared in the hospital for some sort of allergy, whatever that means, you can ask her. But she puts out these videos, and it's actually quite interesting. She's making the claim that, hey, we're arresting people, and she's making the claim that 75% of them are criminals or something like that. And like, it's crazy because even Elon Musk's own AI calls her out on the BS, right? And this is something like, and so basically the BS is like they're saying, okay, however, independent reports indicate up to 41% of detainees had no criminal history and less than 10% had serious convictions. The claim is partially true, but focus on serious crimes and definition of criminal are debated, as many arrests involve minor offenses or non-criminals. If you want to read through that stuff, you can. I'm just going through it because basically what I want you to understand is that whatever outlet you watch, right? Because a lot of outlets or different people out there, understand this. A lot of stuff you see, frankly, People are disingenuous, and I find it frankly revolting, and I see it on the left, I see it on the right. Many of the most popular channels on the left, basically, it's just fake anger all the time. Donald Trump is trash. He's so evil, and this is another evidence that Donald Trump is bad, and Elon Musk is bad, right? And it's just like, there's stuff that so I'm capable of doing it if I really want to. I can. I can do the fake anger. It's not that hard. And I can do it more sincerely, fake anger, if you really want me to. But I really struggle, every single day, because I see what's happening, right? Be it, people left leaning or right leaning. I see what's happening in the mainstream media. I see what's happening in world events, etc. And I just try my best, guys, to tell you the truth. And it's hard to find these days, to be perfectly frank, because if you want to be popular, you have to be a little bit crazy, a little bit weird. You got to stand out, because that's what people want, I guess, these days. And they also want cheerleaders. Unfortunately, this is just the reality. Unfortunately, cheerleaders isn't really the best way to get information or have honest conversations, because in honest conversations, sometimes you can be wrong. Sometimes I can be wrong, and I'm fine with that. And with our audience, guys, you guys are actually catch me all the time. You say like, "Hey, Chris, this is, there's a little bit of nuance there," or "Hey, Chris, here's some additional information," etc. And I'm cool with that, and I literally acknowledge it, and I add it into the daily broadcast with you guys. And if you watch my show, you'll know that I'm just here to try to get to the truth the same way hopefully you are, because I think most people are. And this is something that I think we should all be striving, essentially, present the news, have a conversation in good faith. In good faith means I don't have any like preconceived thing that I have to push no matter what, meaning that in the case of, say, Fox News or people like of that nature, they have to say that Trump is good no matter what he does. Like, if he poops, it's good. If he pees, it's good, right? If he lies, it's good. If he tells the truth, it's good. Like, to them, everything is good. Whereas if you're honest about stuff, you literally just go and say, this is what's going on, and this is an honest way of discussing said things. So I hope you guys understand what we're talking about today, and I do appreciate your time always, and I'll catch you all in the next video.